Budget Submissions and Financial Standing Committee meeting Tuesday 21st of July at 9:37 p.m. Thank you for your attendance. And I'll just adjourn the meeting with the councillors digest the material I've just received. We'll resume the meeting 11:09 a.m. We have any conflicts at the moment?
Yes. What do I do for C1?
Okay.
Councillor Wendy Taylor declares that I have a conflict of interest as defined by the local bylaw 2009 section 175D and E for the agenda item C1, with the subject heading rates and charges rebate and concessions policy incorporating water concessions for sporting clubs. Because I'm the treasurer of the Roma Target Club, I will be dealing with this matter by leaving the room while the matter is discussed and voted upon.
Okay. Any others at the moment?
Well, yeah, I have a C1 at the moment.
Do you want to leave it with some more advice?
Yeah, can we do that then?
Yeah, happy to. We'll just later on.
Yeah, okay.
Any others?
Yes, Mr. Mayor. I'm just going to ask you whether you would split an agenda item. So I, Councillor Joanne Hancock, declare that I have a material personal interest for agenda item C5 with the subject heading Policy Review Rate Recovery. And where I'd like you to consider to split it was within the agenda item, it refers to the process of posting the notices. Can we split this agenda so I can partake of the initial discussion relating to the policy, but not regarding the process of posting the notices? The name of the entity who stands to gain a benefit or suffer a loss, depending on the outcome of the consideration of the matter of the meeting, is Surat Post and News. The nature of my relationship with the entity is that my husband and parents own the business, and describe how the person or other entity stands to gain or benefit, suffer or loss, depending on the outcome of council's consideration of this matter, is that Surat Post and News regarding the postage of the notices.
Name your parents?
My husband Graham Hancock and Rachel and Paul Parapasini.
Okay, so CEO, as far as terminology for the two, we're going to split it. What's go C5A or B or
We'll just have separate resolutions.
right? So that'll be
Yeah, we'll leave it as one item number, but extract from that any reference to posting. And we'll just deal with the core of the policy because it's really not it's not
Material.
the core part of that agenda item. It's really an incidental. So yeah, if it was substantive, I would probably talk differently to me. In this particular case, we'll just talk about the process. I'm just looking at the direct catalogue. There was a specific reference to the change in the process. Yeah, but if we can consider the matter as a separate matter.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So that becomes part of that discussion. If the chair is happy with that.
yeah, no, I'm happy with that. So obviously we'd have to deal with that part first, Councillor Hancock, and then given it closed, we can leave the room and then deal with that, and then we leave the room for the second part of the resolution. Or a second resolution.
Second part of the discussion, the deliberations.
Next council happy with that? Yes. Okay, any others? Okay, we'll keep going. So C1, rates and charges. I'm going to lay it on the table.
Sorry.
Rates and charges, rebate and concessions policy incorporating water concessions, sporting groups. I move to lay this on the table till later in the meeting. further advice. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Burkett, all those in favour? That's 8-0.
8-0.
Yeah, it,
I
I
can't vote.
think on, laying on the table.
So just a couple of points. It's a procedural motion, so you don't need a seconder.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, sorry, yeah.
And procedural motions, everyone can vote on a procedural motion.
Yeah. So you happy to vote for the affirmative?
Yes.
Okay, 9-0. Okay, so moving on to C2.
Well, I'll move we go into committee.
Okay, right. So we have a seconder for that, Councillor Burkett. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0.
Cyber conflict. I, Councillor Mark Edwards, I, Councillor Mark Edwards, declare that I have a material personal interest as defined by the Local Government Act 2009, Section 175B for agenda item C3, subject heading AQLNG Community Project Funding. The name of the person is myself, and I sell produce through the Calico Cottage and stand to gain a benefit. In accordance with Section 175C2B of the Local Government Act 2009, I will leave the room while the matter is discussed and voted on.
Okay. Thank you. Righto. We have someone to go back to close. Councillor Hancock, second and Councillor McMullen. All those in favour? 9-0. Page 192.
I have a conflict. I, Councillor Mark Edwards, declare that I have a material personal interest as defined by the Local Government Act 2009, Section 175B for agenda item C10, with the subject heading Heritage Calico Precinct. The name of the person is myself, and the conflict there, I sell produce through the Calico Cottage and stand to gain a benefit. In accordance with Section 175C2B of the Local Government Act 2009, I will leave the room while the matter is discussed and voted on.
Okay. Well, thank you, Councillor Edwards. We have someone to move.
I'll move we go into close.
We have a seconder. Councillor Ladbrook. Any opposition? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 0. Okay, so we will deal with conflicts of C1.
Right on the table. Have we did? We've got another document.
So,
that
you're like
Sharon had
Councillor
given us.
sorry.
That had whole.
Yeah, it's,
attached.
yeah, this one.
Some, yeah.
Excuse me. I still did the C one too, then just did.
It's up to you.
I have voted.
Yeah, I think we'll do it.
Yeah, I'll go first then.
Yeah, go ahead.
I, Councillor John Burkett, declare that I have a conflict of interest, perceived conflict of interest, as defined by the Local Government Act 2009, Section 175D and E for the agenda item C1, with the subject heading Rates and Charges, Rebates and Concessions Policy, incorporating all the concessions for sporting groups. Because I'm the President of the Mitchell RSL Combined Sports Club, I will be dealing with the matter. I've determined that this is a personal interest and not sufficient significance that will lead me to be making a decision on the matter that is contrary to the public interest. I will best perform my responsibility by serving the overall public interest of the whole of the council area by participating in the discussion and voting on the matter. However, I acknowledge that the remaining councillors must determine, pursuant to section 175E4 of the Local County Government Act 2009. I'd like to say that last bit. Whether I have a real conflict of interest in the matter or a perceived conflict of interest in this matter, and if so, whether I must leave the meeting while the matter is discussed or voted on, or I may participate in the meeting in relation to the matter, including by voting on the matter. Amen.
Councillor Becker, what was the relationship I missed?
President of the RSL Combined Sporting Club. It's not mentioned in the, it's just on the sporting groups.
You have nothing to do, you don't get any bills or anything from council or anything to do with any of that.
It's like the Parks Council supply all the water and maintenance and that. We don't, as a club, we don't have any control over that.
What's next?
Oh, we just need to vote, is, Councillor McMullen, should we just wait a
This is
second?
not a talk, look at that.
Might just wait a second.
So Councillor Burke, I've got to be clear, right? So you're the president of a sporting club?
Yep. This is in regards to the water.
Yeah, no, it's actually not. It's actually the rates and charges, rebate and concession policy. So it's a whole policy. Just clarify.
I filled it out for the first bit, you know. Well, originally that's because we're only looking at one section, weren't we?
Well, what you moved is that then councils have to decide whether you've got a conflict.
Yeah, but if it's the whole policy, I just did it on that section C1, which wasn't the whole policy.
The section C1 is the whole policy is now being given to
Yeah.
us.
How does that change?
It's just completeness to have the full policy.
No, but I mean, how does it
I'm
change?
not suggesting
Well,
it
it might
does.
not,
Oh,
I
sorry.
just,
Yeah, I can't
It
see where
has
it
for
does.
some, but
If they don't pay rates or
That's
nothing,
correct,
they pay
yeah.
nothing.
Yeah.
Just wait for councillor Turner.
She's
No,
waiting.
she's out the room.
She's out of the room.
Right, gotcha. We can keep going, so we're going to vote on this one. So has anyone got the wording? Please.
I'm happy to move that no conflict of interest exists. That councillor Burkett does not have either a real conflict of interest or a perceived conflict of interest in the matter and is accordingly free to participate in the meeting while this matter is discussed, including by voting on the matter.
I think there's some
Yeah.
question about whether that is the case. So we can just have
Oh, am I moving wrong?
I thought we moved that
I
out.
thought we decided that it didn't.
Not on these, we didn't. We did on,
on the water side.
But I'm just,
I don't think we've done any of these.
we have not done any, this was laid on the table.
The mayor laid this on the table to get advice to come back
the
to.
organisation may know whatever your rates of charges doesn't apply, land buildings must not use it, doesn't apply. No concessions to emergency management levy doesn't apply.
Right, so we haven't even talked about that.
But you don't pay water or anything, do you?
No,
Your
application,
group don't pay water.
no.
You would not be asking for any concessions.
You wouldn't be asking for any
What
concessions, you don't
concessions,
pay anything.
We're not paying water rates.
No, but there's other stuff too. Property not used residential, the property must not be subject to general rate exclusion. The concession rebate will be calculated, it's rates concession, isn't it?
Yeah, you don't pay
Doesn't
rates.
apply. In application approved, concession doesn't apply.
In page 5, It doesn't actually talk about council owned. It just says facilities owned, controlled and operated by community organisations.
Well, that's, yeah.
And it doesn't list the actual organisation I'm representing in.
No, that's right.
It
You're not
says Maranoa Regional
mentioning
Council, which is a,
There's no tenancy, there's no
We did say that
residential,
before, it doesn't mention anything,
rate of arrears.
nothing.
So it doesn't actually have any of these table anything to do with council owned facilities. It says facilities owned,
What is
controlled
the
or operated
RSL
by
community hall?
organisation. So is that council?
Control, operated.
So on page 6, it does say RSL community hall. I don't know if that.
that's not
That's
not us. That's not us.
Well, I'd like to move that we lay this on the table till the next budget standing committee meeting. All those in favour? 8-0. Councillor.
But no, I don't even think there's anything in there we can apply for.
Nothing there. We just look at
Yeah, do,
No, just explain that.
yeah, I thought it sounded, yeah. If that.
Okay, C2, debt borrowing policy. Do we have a mover? Councillor, O'Neill.
I'll move the council recommend that the draft 2020-21 borrowing policy be included in the next draft of the 2020-21 draft budget papers.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Ladbrook, any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C3, APLNG Community Project Funding. Do we have a mover? Councillor
Do we
O'Neill.
have a conflict?
Yes, we do.
C3?
You've declared one on that, haven't you?
She has.
Yes.
Because of Calico? I'm sure.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah, and then you did one at the end. Okay.
Mr Mayor, I'll move that the committee, 1, receive and note the officers' report as presented, 2, authorise a preliminary discussion with APLNG through the CEO and key officers in relation to revisiting the master planning works that have been undertaken in regards to Wallumbilla and Yulbar. 3, recommend that council include an amount within the draft budget to cater for an update on the Yulbar master plan, including further engagement with the community with a view to incorporating additional livability aspects for the benefit of the community. 4, recommend that council include an additional $30,000 within the draft budget for the construction design of the new community, council and tourism precinct in Wallumbilla.
We have a seconder. Councillor Taylor, any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to the vote. All those in favour? 8-0.
Carry over project.
Okay, C4, 2020-2021 draft forecast project carryovers from 2019-20, including funding source. We have a mover. Councillor
Yeah, Mr Mayor, I move that the committee recommend the draft forecast project carryovers from 2019-20, excuse me, including funding source, are included in the next draft of the 2020-21 budget.
We have a seconder. Councillor Edwards, any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0.
C5, page 162.
I'm just,
Okay. Councillor Hancock's leaving the room.
still returning to.
Yeah, so we'll have to do the second segment.
Well, the splitting of that, through you, Mayor, would occur at the ordinary meeting if we're just simply asking for this policy to come to the ordinary meeting.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So late, that's on.
So Councillor Hancock has declared the interest, even though we had the conversation earlier. She's left the room entirely. We could move whatever we, and it could be dealt with then. So, Mayor, I'm happy to move that the committee recommend that the updated rate recovery policy be brought to an ordinary council meeting for consideration.
Didn't we move a motion earlier to split it?
No, we didn't move a motion. The Mayor agreed to do it, but all we're simply asking is for the rate recovery policy to come to an ordinary meeting.
Could I make a suggestion that we just, that we take out the word updated and just that the committee recommend that the rate recovery policy be brought to an ordinary meeting? Because then there is no decision other than to bring it to a meeting.
You happy with that, Councillor O'Neill?
Yes, I am.
We have a seconder?
And we'll be mindful, sorry, Mr. Mayor, we'll be mindful of how to structure that so that we can appropriately manage the problem.
Seconded by Councillor Burkett. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to the vote. All those in favour? 8-0. C6, Campbell Park Upgrade Road. Do we have a mover? Councillor Taylor.
I move that the committee, number one, gives its in principle support to investigating the costs associated with maintaining Campbell's Park and feasibility to do so. And number two, further investigate costs for development of a master plan for Campbell's Park.
We have a seconder, Councillor Edwards. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? I'll certainly speak. I think this is fantastic. We've had community support to be able to enable this, as well as much other support. And I would like to see that we can give in the Maranoa, in all of our recreational aquatic spaces, that we can make our parks and play areas the best in Queensland. Okay, on that note, no one else wish to speak. We're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C7, Old Mitchell Bridge Pylon Artwork Project. Councillor Burkett.
Yeah, I'd like to move that the committee recommend the costs associated with reproducing artworks for installation on the eastern side of the Mitchell Memorial Pool be included in the next draft of the 2020-21 budget.
Okay, we have a seconder, Councillor Guthrie. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C8, page 186, Mitchell Memorial Pool and Shire Hall fencing. Councillor Burkett.
Yeah, I'd like to move that the committee recommend that the proposal be included in the next draft of the 2020-21 budget. Do I have to speak to?
We have a seconder. Councillor Edwards. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Okay, C9, page 189. C9, request for upgrade of Chadford Hall, Wallumbilla. Do we have a mover, Councillor Guthrie?
I'd like to move that the committee recommend that an estimate be obtained for the requested works for the inclusion in the next draft of the 2020-2021 budget.
We have a seconder, Councillor McMullen. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Councillor Edwards is leaving the room again. C10, Heritage Calico Cottage Precinct. Do we have a mover? Councillor McMullen.
Mr Mayor, I'll move that the committee note point 4 of resolution number
C3.
C3.
We have a seconder. Councillor O'Neill. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to the vote. All those in favour? 8-0. C11, extension of Wallumbilla water mains in support of Villa B 2021. Councillor McMullen.
Mr Mayor, I'll move that the committee plan recommend preliminary costing for the extension of the water mains located on Wallumbilla North Road be included in the next draft of the 2020-21 budget. 2, encourage Wallumbilla Town Improvement Group to make application under the Community Grants Program for the Billa Beef Festival 2021.
We have a seconder. Councillor Hancock. Any opposition? Anyone wish to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C12, Wallumbilla Cemetery Fence. I'd like to move that the committee recommend that this proposal be included in the next draft of the 2020-2021 budget. Do we have a seconder? Councillor Ladbrokes. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C13, Mitchell Shovel Ready Projects. Do we have a mover? Councillor Burkett.
I'd like to move that the committee recommend that the Mitchell Memorial Park upgrade and the Mitchell Tourism Precinct proposals be included in the next draft of the 2020-21 budget.
We have a seconder. Councillor McMullen. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C14, Surat Shire Hall Disabled Toilet. Councillor Hancock.
I move the committee recommend the project to provide a disabled toilet at the Surat Shire Hall be included in the next draft of the 2021 budget.
Do we have a seconder? Councillor Edwards. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We'll go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. C15, correspondence from Roma Warren Steel Industrial Rates. We have a mover. Councillor McMullen.
Mr Mayor, I'll move that the committee receive the letter from Roma Wire and Steel and consider its contents as a part of the 2020-21 budget deliberations.
Okay, we have a second, Councillor Burkett. Councillor McMullen, would you be happy to send a letter back and thank them for their correspondence? Or
Yeah.
you happy to?
That one came direct from them, didn't it?
So if we write back to them. Okay, anyone wish to speak to this motion? Any opposition? We're going to go to the vote.
You've just got to make sure that the seconder.
Yeah, I'm happy with that.
You're happy with that? Councillor Burkett. Thank you, Councillor O'Neill. If there's nothing more, we're going to go to the vote. All in favour? 9-0. C16, request to consider rebate or discount equal to capping assessment number 1301689. Councillor McMullen.
Mr Mayor, I'll move the committee receive the correspondence to the matter lay on the table until next meeting.
We have a seconder. Councillor Guthrie. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak?
So the matter lay on the table until the next meeting of what?
Until the next meeting.
Of,
Ordinary.
Next ordinary meeting.
so the next meeting of the Budget Standing Committee, or?
When's the next meeting?
Would,
The next meeting is a budget meeting, isn't it?
so, are you happy for the next budget standing?
Budget standing.
So you're happy with that? Mover's happy with that it's the next budget standing committee? Second happy? Councillor Guthrie, you're happy with that? Okay,
Just to be clear, you meant the Budget Submissions and Financial Planning Standing Committee.
yeah, that's the one. Yeah. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Is there any further? Oh, yes, we
Yes,
do.
there is, Mr Mayor.
Must not forget. I don't have a number for this one. What do we call it? C17?
It is,
Councillor Hancock.
I move that the committee recommend an estimate of $50,000 for the Common Code Changing Station upgrade to the foyer project be included in the next draft of the 2020-21 budget.
We have a second of Councillor Taylor. Any opposition? Does anyone wish to speak? We're going to go to the vote. All those in favour? 9-0. Is there any further business, councillors? Well, I will close the Budget Submissions and Financial Standing Committee meeting at 6:16 PM. Thank you for your attendance.